Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly and I am coming to you, I think this is like my 43rd Floss Tube video. My last video was pretty bad. The lighting was off and I really couldn't fix it. So I apologize for that. Today I am back in my craft area and I have my lights on. It's been raining for 2 days, and as you can see, I have a sweatshirt on because I went from being in the upper 90s to dropping to 60 degrees. So it's been a little chilly. Let's see, I haven't really done a whole lot since my last video, except mow grass, and I don't do videos about mowing grass, so won't show any of that. I do have some progress on my Dragons of Sumatra. It's really the only thing I worked on this time. And if you watched my previous videos, I started it on a ruby wine Ada, and I was using a sulky variegated floss in purples and greens, and it was just too thin, too small. I didn't like it. I got the whole corner section done and decided I would have to restart. And I did. And let's see, Dragons of Sumatra. I got the picture out, and of course now I've buried it. Story of my life. It's an ink circles pattern. It says it's a sampler based, it's an original sampler that they based on antique Indonesian motifs. So it's ink circles, and this is what the whole thing looks like. I'm trying to get most of the glare off because it is glossy cardstock. It's got dragons in it. It's really pretty. I like it. I didn't want to do it on like an antique linen, even though the original were pretty much done on neutral tannish colored fabrics. I'm not trying to reproduce antique samplers, so to me that part doesn't really matter. I kind of like the richness of a Chinese tapestry, you know, with bright colors and red backgrounds, and don't ask me why. That's just my aesthetic. It's kind of what I like. But I didn't like the Dragons of Sumatra the way it was working up. So what I did was I took a piece of 18 count white Ada, coffee stained it, did some ice dyeing on it, and then restarted my piece with DMC floss. I used a red in 498, and then I used the variegated floss, and this is number 94. And what I'm doing is, when I first started, I had decided I wasn't going to use the lightest green, but that kind of all changes. So anyway, this is what my piece looks like right now. I restarted before I had a corner done, before I decided to restart it. So my restart, my turtle is kind of in the way. My restart looks like that so far. And I don't know how well the green border shows up there, but in real life, the red makes that light green pop. So I have decided to continue using all the pieces of floss and see how that goes. I plan to work the green in among the red too, in different motifs. And I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do with the dragons. I think I'm going to wait till I get to them, because there's like large dragons motifs in different areas, and I haven't decided what I'm going to do. I'm still considering if I want to use like a dark green, like dark avocado, or a goldish green, or if I want to do it in a brown. I don't know. I guess I have to see how the mood strikes me when I get there. But I'm having a good time with that, and that's really the only thing I've worked on since my last video. And I should say too that when I did that last video, right after that I actually did a whip parade, and it was a different time of day, and I had turned on even more lights, but it didn't really help. It's still dark. It's not as dark as my video I did share is. But I know that once I upload it to Floss Tube, it might be even darker. And so I didn't put that one up. And to be honest, I don't feel like doing it again. Just to get everything out and then try to remember everything I said or didn't say. I just figured I would err on caution and just not bother. If you have any questions or you want to know anything, you can ask me in comments, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. I did get a lot of nice comments on my video, so I do appreciate that, and I thank you for taking the time to watch. Yeah, 3 days, I didn't stitch for a whole week, and what you see on my Dragons of Sumatra is just a few hours over probably a week's period. I've just been busy with other things, so, and that's okay. Sometimes that happens. I do want to say that I do like dyeing my own fabric, and to get this color, I actually did start with white, and it was a piece of one of these. And that's 18 count white Aida. It's a 30 by 36 inch piece. It's gold quality, and it's a really huge piece. So I cut the piece off for Dragons of Sumatra after I had already coffee stained. So originally the coffee staining kind of looked like this. And it was, you know, it's not all the same, because I just bunched it up and I soaked it in some coffee, and I added some cinnamon and some other spices for a little variation. And so that's the big piece, and this is just a little piece off of the piece that I cut. So then what I did was I took some Rit dye in golden yellow, ooh, glare, and I did some petal pink Rit dye, and I ice dyed. I just wadded the damp fabric up on a like a little round trivet, wire trivet inside a plastic pan, and I ice dyed the fabric, just sprinkling the powdered Rit dye on the ice. I enjoy doing that. It's fun, and you never know what you're going to get. I mean, for yellow and pink, there is some, like, I wouldn't call it petal pink, but you can see that the yellow kind of gives it an orangey cast, and I like that. It's more tones of things I like. I'm not really a yellow person. I'm more of a greens and blues person, but I wanted to try that. So I really like the way that worked out. I do want to say, though, that I bought a few skeins of this $4.98, and I didn't make the hour trip to Joann's. I just made a 30-minute trip over to the Walmarts in Bennington, Vermont, and I bought floss. And I didn't really think about it much, because floss, DMC floss is DMC floss. And I don't know if any of you are having this issue, but I'm finding DMC floss is fraying. And I don't think it's my fabric, because I'm not doing anything different to the fabric. And the fabric itself, this Aida, and the Joblin I've been working with, is actually soft. It's not really draggy. But I'm finding that I'm doing it 1/1. And usually I use 2/1, even on 18 count. But I thought for the dragons, I would do 1/1 and see how I liked it. But I'm finding that this single ply of floss is like shredding, and I'm having to cut it off, even starting with shorter strands. I guess gentle isn't my middle name, but I've never had that issue before where I've had to actually throw pieces of floss out because they've just shredded. And I've also had a problem with knotting, and I've had to use my thread heaven and my beeswax, and I don't usually do that either. So I don't know. Did DMC raise its prices and reduce its quality? I mean, that happened with Prismacolor colored pencils. They raised their price all out of, reason, and started having it manufactured in China. And now you buy a Prismacolor pencil, it costs you a fortune, and the lead breaks. That didn't happen before. They're great waxy pencils that color blends really well, but the quality of the pencil is awful. And I'm afraid that DMC floss is going the same way. I'm really not happy with the floss. And I even went so far as to change needles. I think I've changed my needle 3 times. And I've just decided it's the floss. It's not the needle, and it's not the fabric. Anyway, that's my rant, I guess. This has been a bad month for migraines, too. So if you suffer from migraines, you have my sympathy. Because I think I've had more days with headaches than I've had without this month. And that is kind of unusual lately. It didn't used to be. When I worked, I used to get migraines a lot. But this month has been really bad. And I was going to put stuff in my county fair. And then I realized I'm not going to be home for my county fair because the Washington County Fair in New York is held the last week of August, just before Labor Day. And I'm not going to be home. I'm going to be in Florida. So I won't be entering anything, but I'll be interested to see how everyone else does. I know some people are already posting videos about how the county fair has been. So that's good. Congratulations to everyone who won ribbons, and good luck to those of you who are still in the process of entering. I didn't do a ton of haul because I don't really need anything right now. I had joined the Color and Cotton hand-dyed fabric club, and my club was for 16 count Aida, and it's a 13 by 18 inch piece, and it's in the neutrals. And I don't think Andrea named this color, but it's really pretty. It's gray, and the pink is kind of washed out, but this is a gray and pink. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. And it's really pretty. I like the swirls and the modeling in it. I did cancel it though because I really don't need it. And I'm trying to just do what I need. Of course, every now and then a want's got to come in there. Because I was watching Stephanie's, Miss Oh So Crafty's Floss Tube video. And she showed something she got. And I had to pause her video and go see if I could find it. Because I really like dragons. And I really like castles. So, of course, when she showed the Stony Creek collection, Mythical Moments, I had to go out and find it. So that's what this is. And I just loved this dragon. I think it's wonderful. And it's book number 125 by Stony Creek. And there's a lot of different things in it. There's a plate that's a Pegasus. And a little princess with a castle in the background. I really like that too. And it has samplers. I have to show this one too. It's a prince and a princess. And it's a sampler with a castle. Really pretty. So anyway, that was my enabling from Stephanie. So thank you, Stephanie. I did get it. and I wrote the information down. I found it on the Amazon Marketplace, and it was a bookseller called Book Booth AZ, and I got it in a short amount of time. They mailed it very safely in a padded envelope, and I'm really happy with it. I have no idea when I'll ever stitch it, but I have it now. Yay! And that's about all the excitement I have. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with my Dragons of Sumatra, or if I'm going to move on to something else. I have lots of sals I could be working on. I have lots of whips that could stand some attention. And I'm going away for 10 days the end of August. And I haven't decided what I'm going to bring with me. I know I'm going to bring something with me. But we will see. I will talk about that in a future video, hopefully. And I hope the quality of this video was okay, and that you enjoyed what you saw. Let me know if you have any questions or comments, and I look forward to watching your videos or seeing you again. So until then, God bless and take care. Bye.